I just got off the plane in Jackson, Wyoming. Gonna see my brother and do some trapping.
So these are lambskin leather and fox trim, and these are also lambskin, and this is an Asiatic raccoon.
Wow.
We have fox and lamb leather again, and this is alpaca with Asiatic raccoon. And then this one is full alpaca, so alpaca trim with alpaca body.
Okay, and these guys are rabbit.
These are Rex rabbit. Yes, so it's a really high density fur. No shedding, really soft.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so up here we have Asiatic raccoon. They're the first three, and then the last two are fox.
Wow.
And the gloves are mink, and the hats are mink.
So these are all mink, and
those are mink. Yep. These would be alpaca. This is lambskin leather with mink trim, and this is lambskin leather with Asiatic raccoon, and then with fox.
It seems like Asiatic raccoon is used a lot.
Yes. Yeah, it's got a great color, a great texture.
And then you have some coyote stuff here too.
So this one is coyote trim. This one is a fox trim.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a long-haired fox.
And this is a curly lamb.
Curly lamb, awesome. And these have the coyote trim is on the right at the end of your wrist too.
Yes, all the way down. This is a beautiful coat.
That's amazing.
You instantly look like a rock star when you put it on.
Yeah.
On this side we have fox. We have this is a coyote trim and Asiatic fox, Asiatic raccoon.
Oh, together.
And this coat I just bought yesterday for myself. This one is it's a beautiful finish. This is like this sort of a wax distress, and then this is the Asiatic raccoon trim. You know, we have some that are made in America, and then some that are made in Turkey primarily.
Oh, thank you so much for the tour.
Yeah.
There was one more hat. These ones over here. I think I'm actually going to get this for my wife.
Yes, so these are Rex rabbit in different finishes. This is sort of like a chinchilla finish, and this is sort of, you know, a natural color dye. But we have all sorts of fun colors to match anybody's hair color, anybody's jacket, or anybody's style.
Yeah, so those are scarves and headbands.
Scarves, headbands, and hats. Yep.
Yeah, and then you just told me about these vests. I thought they were.
So these are shearling and reversible. So
shearling is
a sheepskin.
Yeah.
That's been sheared down, so it's reversible. You can have the fur on the outside or on the inside. Super lightweight and breathable.
Oh, and you know, there was one more thing you were showing me, the boots that I wanted to.
The furry boots.
Yeah, fur boots.
So these I also have. These are it's goat and shearling inside, and the shearling goes all the way down to the toe. So
wow.
They're waterproof, snowproof. I've worn them in all kinds of weather. I even spilled food on them and it just brushed off. Couldn't even tell. So.
The other thing, and what are these trimmed with down here?
Down here is a fox trim. This one is rabbit. These are all rabbit, and these are shearling lined as well, shearling all the way down inside. You can see.
And there's one more thing you were telling me, which I wanted to record, was the value of natural fur, and you said something about not getting overheated indoors.
Yes, it's everything about natural fur.
Do you mind being on the video?
No, it's okay. It's breathable. It's antimicrobial, so it requires minimum cleaning.
Right.
And basically, any of these finishes like this, you know, they're just going to wear well and look nicer over time, you know, with any creases or anything. They also don't spot. None of our suede spot, so you can bring them out in wet weather and not worry about them at all.
Wow. Antimicrobial, and when you go inside, you don't really overheat because they keep you cool.
Exactly.
As well as keeping you warm when it's cold.
Yes, just like an animal would regulate its body temperature naturally, it's doing that for you, basically.
Yeah. How did we miss this with doing everything in plastic?
I don't know. And it's also better for the environment, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of these animals are animals that are used for food as well. So, You know, we're just
Right.
basically not wasting the product and treating the animal with respect.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a lifetime product. It's not gonna.
Absolutely.
It kind of gets better over time.
Yeah. The leather will break in and just sort of mold to your hand. You know, all these jackets will break in, and you know, it's when you're buying one of these pieces, you're going to keep it for the rest of your life and probably hand it down.
So for the sake of this video, tell me what store this is and where we are.
This is Overland Sheepskin in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love seeing all this, and I'm going to do a little shopping.
Great. Enjoy.
So this store here has coyote pom-pom hats. Pretty awesome, like $75. And so many natural things, and you'll see in this clip, but all of these hats up here, the whole top row throughout the store, are beaver felt. 300 to 700. Pretty neat. Wow, look at that coat. But they wouldn't let me take any pictures. But I do want to tell you there was an amazing bobcat jacket, which was $10,000. I want to say there was probably 5 bobcats involved in all the trim. 100% bobcat jacket. Pretty interesting to see. Oh my gosh, I'm driving from the Grand Tetons you see there and Jackson, Wyoming over to Gillette. Taking a long day of it. Gonna stop by a few different sightseeing places, but this is breathtaking, just traveling on these roads. I just pulled over here because I'm seeing some coyotes. I wondered if they're wolves. It's hard to tell, but they're moving around this field out here. Probably coyotes, but I'll show this to my friends and see what they say. Look like they're moving like coyotes. Wow, is the scenery amazing. It's changed so much. I've gone from, like, you know, the high mountains and snow down to almost like a dry Arizona kind of thing with the mountains off in the distance. Huge cattle ranches. Right now I'm traveling north to Thermopolis, and I'm gonna go to the Legend Pyroglyph site on the way. I guess I'm the only nutcase to come to the Legend Rock Pyroglyphs on Friday, December 6th. So here's what the pyroglyphs are. Ancient rock art. Some of these have been dated back to 11,000 years ago. Isn't that unbelievable? Ancient rock art. And it's this whole ridge that goes along here that I guess presented itself to people thousands of years ago as a perfect place to do graffiti. But some of it tells some serious stories, I guess, which obviously I don't know all about. Chappy. There they are. We're checking the first line. I made it out to meet Mark, and we're on our first day on the line. We picked up one coyote, and this is just unbelievable. Wait till I spin this around. I mean, it's breathtaking out here. And we are riding around. I'm like completely lost. Mark knows exactly where he's going, but I've like lost all my sense of direction because we're just winding around through. This is a ranch, but there's all these ridges and rocks and hills and open land. It's really varied. And how many traps did we check today?
Maybe 50 so far.
Yeah, maybe like
including cat traps.
About 50 traps. And I'm learning a lot about the sets Mark, also known as Chappy. He does it a little, he sets definitely different than I do. I'm taking some good lessons here, making some notes, and a lot of location things, learning a lot about location, that's for sure. That's something that every trapper really has to work on, I think. You know, obviously set on sign. In some cases, it's hard to see sign out here, I'm learning. You know, it's hard to track. It's been really dry. We're, you know, bobcat turds, stuff like that, definitely giving us location. Anyways, it'll be a 5-day trip, and we'll see what else we catch, but that doesn't really matter so much. For me, it's about learning and just taking it all in. Really grateful that a guy like Mark, you know, offers something like this, that a guy like me, who's real beginner, could come out and get, you know, a notch better. And I'm sure there's some stuff here that might not work back east, but there's a plethora of things to learn always. So yeah, enjoy the view. We're gonna have lunch. Man, it's so calm up here. I bet it gets windy as crazy up here sometimes. Pretty awesome spot right on this ridge here. See for miles.
Like you're doing a lot of walking back and forth. Go back. Stay here.
Yeah, they had to move all the cows out of this corral, so it's part of trapping on a ranch is to help the rancher, I guess. It's pretty cool. This is a breeding herd, so they just separated the calves from the moms, and there's going to be a lot of crybabies tonight because they're weaned off. All about in Wyoming. It's definitely an eye-opener for me, especially because there's so much land. I love it. Seeing all the cattle out this morning, and hey, what are all the flags about?
It's a shooting range.
Oh,
Called the High Barn.
Shoot range over there. Yeah, you can see cattle spending the night out here, out on the range. First walked out this morning, it was a little sprinkle, and now it's just like overcast and incredibly warm. The sun comes out, it might be high 40s today, which is really rare. Hoping for a cold night, and there's maybe light snow forecast for tomorrow, which would be really cool. The mule deer out here this morning. This buck was right in here yesterday with these does. Cool. You guys know I'm always seeing trappers snore. Actually, they really do. Chappy was snoring last night. I was snoring too because I could feel it in my throat. So that's the real snore. I gotta do a fence here. All right, titanium shoulder or cobalt or whatever it is.
Cobalt.
I think it's cobalt. The
really?
shoulder parts they put in. Yeah.
Deflect bullets.
Oh, I got right up on them. Some elk moving through.
Over here, kid. Get that one, yeah.
Well, dusty from the it's actual soil, right?
Yeah, and some of it, can you see a good view over there? I mean, how the ridges are.
Yeah.
I mean, we do get those dust and stuff like that at times anyways with these high winds, but to the north and to the west of us here is parts where we had really huge fires, hundreds of thousands of acres that burned, and it burned so much off in some places that there's not anything to hold the topsoil now.
Until the grass grows, yeah.
So it's just the topsoil's actually blowing away.
Wow.
And it's only thing, it's kind of leaving exposed red rock down there because the topsoil is actually, a lot of times it's only a couple inches deep.
Yeah.
And it's going to take hundreds of years for those areas like that to repair, or they, some of them won't even.
Wow.
They'll just be red rock.
Yeah. It's amazing when you look out there because it looks almost like there's still a forest fire, but it's soil. Today's a break day, so we're going to see this place here, Devil's Tower. Didn't catch much the first 2 days, and this is probably because every animal is laying low and they're not needing a lot of calories to stay warm, so they're just napping. So look what's happening. A little bit of snow. We got 1 or 2 inches coming over the next 2 days. We go back on the trap line tomorrow and hoping that we're going to see some tracking, hoping that these animals are going to start waking up and moving around. So it'll be a totally different experience. A volcano from years ago, and weather over time where it wore down the outside, and it's just like the core that's standing up there. So I understand people rock climb this too. Awesome. What's weird is how straight those lines are, those ridges. Pretty cool. It's probably crowded like crazy here in the summer, but we're the only ones here right now. Hey, it's day 3 on my Wyoming trapping experience, and we are heading out on the line. We, just as expected, have some snow today. It was a cold night. We're thinking the animals were moving and hoping that we have some jumping and some sets today. So just leaving the ranch now. We'll keep you posted. I'm super excited. This is feeling like, I grew up in Vermont, and a snowy morning in Vermont. This is a snowy morning in Wyoming. What I am learning on this adventure is some changes to how I'm going to make my trap sets, and a little bit even more about understanding the animals that I'm trapping, and that's really cool. Like, I'm gonna be trying some things when I get back home in New York to see if they work. Mainly blocking down bobcats, even more making walkthrough sets, which I haven't made a lot of. I do a lot of cubby work, which is working for me, but I want to mix it up and do some walkthroughs. What's really cool about Chappy is that he's so in tune with his trap line. He knows like every bush and every stick and everything about it, and he's constantly he's the kind of trapper that's on the game. As soon as he is on the line, his mind is working, and I can tell, so I just try to be quiet and learn from how he's thinking about what's going on his trap line. He has anticipations, but he's always ready for a new surprise as well. And that's refreshing, just like any good trapper. I think it's about being open to constantly learning. So that's one thing I appreciate about Chappy. And we've bonded a bit in the last 3 days here. And that's what happens when you go outdoors with somebody too. You really, start to get to know that other person. And anyways, feeling very grateful. Thanks for listening. Let's get out on the line.
Well, I think now we got the pressure's really starting to drop, and that's where a lot of this wind's probably coming from too. It's going to build up pretty good today and into tomorrow.
Yep.
But with the temperature drop, I don't know, we had like 15 in the truck this morning.
Yep.
The last first 2 days you ran with me were up in the 50s. One day we hit 60, so
yeah.
It was really slowed down on the line. So I think we're kind of right here at the beginning of this. We should start getting a lot more movement. Hopefully we pick, something showed up overnight.
I mean, we already cut tracks 3 times, right? Mm-hmm. Pairs of coyotes. No cat tracks yet,
right.
But we only looked at like 3 traps or something so far.
So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See if we get busy.
30, 40 mile an hour winds coming, so you'll enjoy this afternoon.
Awesome. It's gonna be hard to do camera work out there.
Here we are at a spot. Set up a snare. We have some woven wire fence here. So initially had set this up. I had actually scouted some of this in the summer. Had a crawl through over here that I opened up and had them going through. And then right up here, fence is up a little bit, you'll see. Down over here, you can see a dead piece of sagebrush that I put in there just to break up the support a little bit. That one was already there naturally. We killed the first coyote right there. Then I ended up picking up some tracks here and found them running. There was one running parallel to this. So as you come down through this fence line here, we had a narrow spot right here. And you don't want to overlook these fence snares either. So as you can see right here, he had worked along this fence line. Snare placement was right here in that narrow gap between the sagebrush and going over there towards the fence. A little bit of entanglement there. Yep. And he's down and out pretty quick and frozen.
A little snow on him.
He's been dead for a couple days.
Trying to keep our eyes out for runners today. They're obviously moving. One thing I was telling Chappy here that I'm appreciating so much is the silence out here. Like right now we just hear the wind up in there.
It's usually a lot quieter, Dan.
Yeah, I know. Today, just because of the wind, we hear that.
No,
yeah.
I'm always alone.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I'm noisy. I'm the noisy one. Trying to keep my noise down. Well, you're a little more noisy because of me too, and I appreciate that. You're always thinking, and I'm trying to be quiet and learn from how you do that. Alrighty.
We wait.
Yep.
And refused it at this point.
Yep.
Came over here. All right. Came down through the bottom, came here. You see the tracks? Refusal, decided he wasn't going to do this. He was going to go down to the other opening down the fence.
Wow.
Followed the fence line down. Got caught in the trail snare before he reached the other opening.
Yep. Cool.
Maybe the trail snare was knocked down.
Yep.
And then he went down and then he gets caught in the other fence snare.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a backup plan.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Antelope. Nice.
So the idea of these is, so you see this bone,
Yep.
if you could just satisfy yourself right here with the bone. The idea is to take that away. So that if you really want to get your face on that bone,
Yep.
then you got to go through the walkthrough.
Yes. That was a golden eagle, right?
Yep.
Say hi back home. There he is. Oh, that's so cool. Yep, we got steady snow here. And the wind is coming in. This is where we had lunch. So you can see the difference. Winter has arrived. But it is gorgeous.
There's not a lot of movement yet. Maybe when it breaks.
Out there. Poncho needed stretch his thoroughbred legs here. Come back, check on us. All right,
Bye. We already have a snare support here from last year, right in this fence line. So we're going to drop another one back in it. The cow they got down in the creek, it
Yeah.
got caught down, fell through the ice, and died. We just found before we worked cows on Friday. Is down there. Eric's seen a pair come off this top or down here earlier this morning, so we're just going to throw one right here in this fence, and then probably another spot further up the fence there.
okay. It is December 11th, and it's my last day on the Wyoming trapline. Yesterday, we got the one coyote. Yeah, things kind of slowed down in the traps after that. It was snowing pretty much all day. Kind of like we thought the day before. Today, I think, is the day they'll be moving more. And in fact, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and I should have had the camera on 15 minutes earlier because there was coyotes howling right behind me here, and you probably could have heard them. Catching things wasn't the goal for my trip. It was to learn as much as I could from Chappy. I feel like I learned a lot, and we'll talk with him a little bit more today. And I look forward to getting home safely. It's a pretty long drive for me. I'm not driving home, flying to New York, but I do have to drive all day to get from my remote location here back to Jackson. Taking it all in, this is just incredible. I imagine a lot of trappers have this kind of dream to trap out west, and I do feel very fortunate, and I'm grateful. And my family supported me on this kind of trip, taking care of my stuff at home, and same thing with my business and my employees. So yeah, very grateful, and let's get out there and do one more day. We're heading out right now, and we're catching tracks again early this morning. It's nice, it's not snowing, it's nice and cold, and we saw a few runners. So there were some coyotes on a carcass, and yeah, it's good to see things moving.
On days like this with a little bit of fresh snow, we've had probably about 12 hours since the wind let up and the snow quit. You'll actually, just besides seeing what some of your movement is that you didn't necessarily know about as far as coyotes go, you'll actually see some of them with the wrong wind direction and how some had actually worked around the set. Just didn't work in the direction you wanted. Bottom line is, you learn a lot more from the ones you miss than the ones you necessarily catch.
Awesome.
Yeah, so out here in the middle of nowhere, you can see there's a rat hut right there. There's a couple other small rat huts over here.
Yep.
So, it's unbelievable how these critters can survive and find their way all the way up here and not get ate by something in the process.
Jeez.
So, I like to keep some 110s in the
Can-Am.
and the Can-Am just for that. Just to throw in a little bit of extra. I still love to trap rats, so yeah. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll throw her back down there. We'll leave her down there as long as we're running this line.
And I think this is the only place I've seen out here where there's even cattails like this. And it's been a really dry year.
Yeah, well, this has a spring. You see where it's open over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this will keep water year round, even dry. But okay, let's do the morning puller plunge.
Yeah, nice and cold.
Gotta reach in there. You gotta find exactly where that den entrance is.
So there's a den in the bank here.
Yeah, I seen the bubbles coming out.
I think this is a good message for trappers that, sometimes if you're just targeting one thing, it's nice to add things in like coon DPs or something for a muskrat because it helps your day,
That's right. Well, that's kind of what my page of the Complete Trapper's about. Even for ADC guys, you're ADC all year.
Yep.
You come out here, you're chasing coyotes and cats and and calling and working all that. But then you see muskrats. Well, you know what? You trap the muskrats. Well, you got some skunks and raccoons around the ranch and around the barn, and so you can go in there and you can trap those. And the idea of the Complete Trapper is, you know what? You learned you could do it all.
You take advantage of the opportunities.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, and you just keep working on your skills for the rest of your life, and I guess that's what will eventually make you a complete trapper.
Yeah, exactly.
Took us some together?
Yeah.
That's just a small coyote.
Okay.
He said he didn't even walk down any of the trails. He went right down this bottom. It's a pain in the ass to walk on.
Yeah. Wow. One thing that Chappy taught me was to not walk on the trail, especially these trails that he's setting. And that's exactly where the coyotes went sometime in the last few hours. Not on the trail.
Yes, that's an extra leg.
Like the name of this guy. This is Bon Jovi. Want to sing us a tune? Good job. Clip the back legs, make it so she can't walk.
She'll be dead right down in this bottom next time we come through. They're just hitting us this morning.
Just picked up this. It's antelope horn. Chappy tells me they don't have antlers, they have horns. So this actually falls off and they grow a new one just like a hair.
Yep. So if you see the bucks now, a lot of them won't have much. You can still tell because they'll have the black throat patch.
Yep.
There's still other indicators on them to tell you what sex they are, but...
Gotcha. Huh. Ah, look how beautiful this is. Just incredible landscape. And this is our first set of bobcat tracks that we found. You can see they look a lot different than coyote. There's no nail because the cat doesn't have his nails out or her nails out. You see this big pad in the back. And what's weird for us is this cat was in the wide open when there's traps, you know, down in those thick spots. Didn't go in it. Yeah, it's awesome, awesome view. Walking along the edge. Careful. Yeah. Whew.
Seeing what I'm seeing here, that saddle's spot.
The best spot, okay. Here's some kickbacks. What's causing them to do that?
Territorial thing. Probably urinated there.
Oh, okay.
Stand here, kid.
Oh, he's gonna check it out. That's the side.
Didn't even stutter step.
Huh. 2-year-old female.
Mm-hmm.
Get that belly. It's thicker fur than mine from New York. Yeah. Cool. It's my last day in Wyoming on the line here with Chappy, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. I feel really fortunate.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
pun intended. I'm fortunate that I got to do this with a guy that, has a really unique lifestyle of being out in the wilderness. I mean, Chappie, he's a fisherman, he's a hunter, he's a trapper, he's got a life of being in the outdoors, and I got a little taste of it. One of the things I really appreciate is how cerebral he is about, he's like on his game. As soon as we're on the trap line, it's all about watching sign. And you were telling me today, that's one of the things you really enjoy about it, that, seeing the sign and trying to understand what's going on in your trap line. Tell us a little bit about that, why you like that.
Well, because there's always so much going on. If you're watching the sign and the tracks and you're seeing the interaction of the predators with the prey and the deer and the elk, and, just because I'm standing here right now and I don't see any of them, there's like a whole wild play that's went on. And when you interpret that sign, you get a taste of what that play was. You get to see the tracks and what the animals did. And I just like that.
Become a piece of it.
It's always alive.
Yeah. And, another thing is, I was telling Chappie today, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to run a trap line like this out in Wyoming. I think a lot of trappers, I know at least back east, this is kind of like a dream thing to go to a western state like this and trap. But, boy, you better be ready to work a lot of territory. It's a big, huge landscape. That was super impressive to me. A couple things Chappie was saying to me that I like is, one is what'd you say? You don't catch checking, you catch setting. Is that how you put it?
Yeah, what I mean by that is, a lot of people just go out and they put the traps out for the first couple days and then they just run their line and check it. All right. The whole idea is, and I don't remember, I think I heard that somewhere else. And the idea is that, you catch animals because you're setting traps and you're working your line. And as you've seen today, even, we were still setting today.
Yep.
We've been on this line for over a couple weeks now, and we're still adding on to it. And when we see new sign, this is the first decent snow we've had. I don't know how long it's going to hang around for. It's already getting thin, but it showed us some stuff that I haven't been able to see. And now I have coyotes identified in particular places, and pairs here and a single there. And we had the one where speaking of a play, in the snow by the mule deer.
Yeah, that was really cool.
All right, they had the whole hocks and the hindquarters just tore out, and the poor bastard was just barely getting around. But when you went and you looked in the snow, you could see the play, and there were several coyotes there that had worked him over pretty hard.
Right.
So
and you were saying we could have actually drove up on that. They could have heard us coming, and
they could. It was very, very fresh, and he was just standing there. So he went down in the bottom, and he'll just lay down. That fawn will just lay down in that bottom, and he'll be dead. And the coyotes will be in there, and
Mother Nature's tough.
Yep. And then we'll try to get them killed.
Yeah. Yep. So the other thing is that, and I felt this as a new trapper, and maybe this is good for new trappers, is when you go out, you set your traps, and then you go out and you're checking, and you got nothing, and you got nothing, and you got nothing. And then you start saying, did I do something wrong? And a lot of times today we check traps and we got nothing. And what you said was, and we wait.
Every time. I say that 100 times a day, right?
Yeah, and I like that because he's confident that it is right. There's nothing wrong with it. And sometimes it needs to set. A new set that we put in today, you were like, I don't want them to visit that yet. I want it to cool down. I want snow to get on there. I want them to come back through. They're used to that spot and not have it so hot with us, our scent and our activity there, and then wham, get them.
Yeah, I don't want him back this evening. Because when he comes back this evening, it's going to be blown up with us there.
Yeah.
He comes back a week from now. I know where he's at. You've seen it. You've seen where he marked. You've seen where he kicked back.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
Yep. And we wait. And another one you put bait in today, and you're like, yep, that bait's going to work for months. That bait's going to be there when the coyote comes. And that scent's going to work. Checking sets from a distance. Anyways, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys, for watching this experience. And this is Trapper Snore. Chappy snored one night. I snored one night. I could hear him and I could feel my throat. We snored the
I'd have
first night.
snored last night because I went to sleep.
Yeah, last night we were pretty quiet, but
I don't think that's the snore you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about being on the line, and what's that about?
That's about your sustainable, natural, organic, renewable resource.
You got it, man.
All right, Dan.
Thank you so much.
Okay.